we can do anything. When did you first hear Fauré's piano quartet in C minor and Maddison's piano quintet? What was your first emotional impression and today? I think I heard the Fauré one a few years ago for the first time, and then this Maddison piano quintet I heard for the first time when I got the message from Nicola that we were gonna play it. So I was in the car with my mom listening to the whole quintet, and I think it kind of surprised me. It's quite different, and the first impression was very much like, yeah, it's very intense, and I think after studying it and listening to it, playing it, it kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Like, I had never heard about the Maddison quintet ever before, and when I heard it, I was very intrigued. It's very interesting, and it's not what I expected. Like, when I heard it, it's a very interesting piece.
Yeah, there's like a lot going on always, I feel
Yeah.
like, and every time I listen to it, it's kind of like I find some new details. I noticed that like the theme goes like more around between the players.
Yeah.
It's really fun in that way.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think the Maddison is very, when you hear it for the first time, it has a classical shape, so you might not hear too much of what's really going on, and then when you play it, it's so weird the way it's actually written, that you're like, okay, it's not completely classical, it's a bit more advanced.
Yeah.
I know that any music by Fauré is really touching, so I'm looking forward to hear it.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
I love the quartets, both of them. They're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I could listen to them for the rest of my life. You know, they ask, what do you take on a desert island? I think that's one of the considerations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's really nice.
To the next
Okay,
question.
next question. Okay, do you have one word or image for each piece? It's difficult. I think for Fauré, I would say passionate.
Yeah, I agree. It's very passionate, kind of a love story maybe.
Mm.
Or even the both of these pieces feel like a love story.
Yeah.
I feel like
True.
even the Maddison is kind of like a journey. It feels like the whole life, it starts kind of dramatic, and it has all of these elements that kind of drag you into it with so much passion and intensity, and then it kind of ends off with this silly little, like, a conversation and, yeah, playfulness, I feel like.
It's very playful, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me the Maddison is, there's a part of me who wants to say a bit floating, like,
Yeah.
because of the way it's written, in a way it's like there's no downbeat. Yes.
Yeah.
As we struggle to put it together, it's really much airy, yeah. And it's quite light, but there is a lot of I think there's many themes, so I think there's a lot of different character in each movement, which makes it interesting.
I just want to go with a basic emotion. I just think it's beautiful. You know? It's so vibrant. It's so full of life. It's like the Maddison and the Fauré, these pieces that just like keep giving, you know. And it's really fun to sit in the ensemble and kind of have that energy bounce around the ensemble. It's really fun.
Super nice. Okay.
So, which musical elements create the strongest emotional effect to you? So for me, I think it would be the harmony and the texture of the piece that is in the Maddison. I mean, that makes the most powerful effect for me. I think in a way, Maddison reminds me a bit of Ravel in its harmony. So it's very surprising, and there's a lot of rule breaking somehow, and which is nice. And then I think the texture of it is really, as I said, transparent, and there's many sudden change and things like that makes a real effect, I think, to the music.
Yeah, I agree with the harmony. It's very, like you said, rule breaking, and sometimes even in the rehearsals you're very surprised by the harmonies. You're like, is this really how it should be? But then you realize yes, because it's like a long tension before it finally
Yeah.
releases to the actual chord, and that's like I think what makes the most emotional effect on this piece, because it's so rich with this harmony and also textures.
I think rich is a really good word that I would also use for it. And it's these colors that just keep flourishing, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I think though my favorite part is in among these dense colored harmonies, there are these unison moments where you get to play like with some of your fellow musicians, and it's just this wow.
Yeah. And then it feels like finally connected when you have this unison finally together.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think these pieces are maybe quite similar, because I would say the same things about Fauré. Like the most interesting thing is like the harmonies, and also it's a lot of unison, and that I think that makes it really powerful. You're like all playing the same thing together, and like so it makes it very powerful.
Yeah.
And I would also say maybe the rhythms in Fauré. He has a lot of like dotted rhythms that like keep the music like going and like flowing, and also in the second movement he has a very like fun like da 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 da, like a very fun like cute rhythm. So yeah.
And I have to say the melodies. I love the melodies also.
They're
so
yeah, they're so nice. They're so good. Yeah.
How would you describe the musical language and structure of each piece?
I think in the Maddison, the structure is. I mean, we talk a lot about how kind of weird it is. This piece, I mean, but it's still I think a classical shape.
Yeah.
So I think which makes it very nice and easy for the listener to understand, which is not the first. When we read it for the first time, it was far from that. It was not easy, and it was we had to work for it.
Yeah, and Fauré as well. It's very romantic. It's late romantic, and that's very much the structure and the form. But I would also say we kind of start to hear a little bit of like impressionism, or like a bit of like a hint of it. We hear like these floating melodies and like and these like nice like broken chords under, and it's like so yeah, it's like you can hear it's like getting closer to like impressionism and those kind of genres. But it's still romantic, and like the structure is romantic.
And that way I think this is very romantic. Like, it's very lyrical. It's these melodies that are very accessible to the ear as an audience.
And then in that way you can also sense, I mean, Maddison was English, but you can sense his French influences maybe from Fauré.
But isn't it Nicolas who said that, I'm just repeating what I heard, that there's been a love story, isn't there a love story between Maddison and Fauré?
Yeah, they were allegedly lovers.
I think it kind of, I think also this program kind of makes sense. The two pieces together.
Maybe it's a one big love story.
It's one big love story.
Each other.
It should be the concert title.
Identify a decisive moment in one piece and explain its musical and expressive impact. In the Maddison quintet, I really love the third movement, where it's kind of a constant build up to this high note in the first violin, and it's like, because it starts very major-like and very lyrical, and then it gets very intense, and you hear all of these different melodies and textures up on each other, and then when you finally hit this high note in the first violin, then it kind of opens up again, and you end like in the ending of the movement, and you close it off with the same melody as in the beginning. It's a very powerful moment, I would say.
That's definitely a decisive moment.
Yeah, very decisive.
Yeah, it's difficult to find one moment in the piece. I think I could talk about the third movement like as a whole. I think it's just so like the whole of the piece is very like quite optimistic, I would say. But then the third movement is very like coming from like the heart. It's very much like very dramatic and very like just speaking from the heart. So it's really like a big contrast from what's happening before, I would say. But if I should just pick like one moment, I really enjoy like in the first movement where the piece has been developing and like a lot of things have been happening, and then finally we get back to the main theme, like before the ending of the first movement, and it's super nice moment.
Yeah.
Which I really love.
It's always nice to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
I've thought of a decisive moment maybe, but it's more like I was inspired by your answer because this is in 4 movements. This one, for quintet, and the last movement is kind of a bit weird in the sense that it's very, very playing and very, very funny, while the others are super serious and super lyrical in this like love story that we spoke on. And this is just like carefree. This is just we're living life kind of a thing. And I don't know, for me somehow that kind of puts the whole thing together, that it's just like, I don't know, we're just living life or something. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
Part of the journey.
That's nice. Okay, what internal state does each piece produce in you?
When playing or when listening?
Maybe both.
Yeah.
It puts me in a very aware state to play Maddison.
Yeah, to
Because
play it, yeah.
exactly, because it's
You
like
cannot
you
fall
keep
out.
exactly, you keep having this part of a role that is then given to you, the cello which is then given to you, kind of a thing all the time.
I would say urgency. It feels like it's very, like you're saying, like you cannot fall behind this. You really have something to say.
Exactly.
Everyone wants to have the word.
Yeah.
It kind of is very
Kind of a big
urgent.
family.
Yeah.
Do you see any similarities in these 2 pieces and how are they different? I think we can assume that there is a lot of similarities, just because there was this, I don't know, love story or relationship between the 2 composers.
But I would actually say they are very similar. Like for example, the form, they start, or like the movements are very similar, kind of with this very intense first movement, more light and silly second movement, and then more calm third movement, and then this energetic final movement. And also the unisons in both of these pieces are maybe not common, I would say, all the time in chamber music. So it's, for example, in the Maddison, both violins sometimes play the same melodies in the exact same octave, and I think also in the Fauré, the viola and the violin play the exact same, and that's not very common.
No, definitely.
So I think that's very similar.
Yeah. And maybe also the harmonies. I think Maddison kind of takes the harmonies a step further than Fauré does, but I think at its core it's quite similar.
How was it to collaborate with your teachers? It was great.
It was super fun.
I love Nicolas. He's the best.
Yeah,
He's so fun, he's so inspiring, you know, you're just having a good time. And you're getting to work in like a serious way too. It's not that it's
very efficient.
It's not entirely carefree. No, he understands exactly where to like. It's very inspiring to see, because you get to be like kind of part of a professional chamber ensemble. It's kind of a vibe, which otherwise I've just gotten teaching as a student chamber ensemble with like teachers. It's a different kind of teaching dynamic where you learn to. When you learn by example kind of thing.
It's truly a blessing to just be able to work this closely with your teachers, and as kind of colleagues rather than this teacher-student vibe. And it's truly just a great opportunity. I'm very thankful for.
Yeah, I think we all feel very lucky to get a chance to learn from our teachers and perform with them.
It's a great opportunity.
It's a great opportunity.
What is particularly interesting for you in this project? What have you gained from this collaboration? I mean, I think it's just like we were saying, it's so, I have just gained so much more knowledge of chamber music, and you get so much from your teachers by playing this with them, because you learn more how to play chamber music.
Exactly.
A new form of communication.
Yeah.
Yes, and you understand what the exact priorities of a professional is with their time, like the rehearsal space, like
Yeah.
what is most important right now, and you kind of learn to gauge, oh, okay, so maybe in my own quartet I should be like, when this happens, it's all about this intonation, or it's all about...
Yeah, that's a good point. How do you hope the audience will feel or react when they hear these pieces?
Led on a journey,
Yeah.
like we're telling a story.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
I think it's gonna be a very fun concert.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be very interesting to hear these pieces together. And even if I was a listener, just to look for the similarities. And I think it's gonna be nice to sit in the audience and think about the story behind it, the composers, and the relations between the two composers, and what they might have learned from each other or have some similarities.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the audience will enjoy it. I think it's beautiful music, and I think people will. If we are fun, they will. So will they.
Exactly.
I think.